Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about The Running Grave by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. And this is the seventh book in the Strike series, and yes, it is almost 1,000 pages long, so it took me a while to read this one, if I'm being honest. But I gotta say, this, in my opinion, is the best Strike novel yet. And that's saying a lot, because, I've liked every single Strike novel except probably the first one. In my opinion, it's one of the most consistent series going on right now. The ways he keeps us hooked, turning the pages to find out the mysteries and the relationships between our main characters always, makes me want to pick them up. Also impressive how C was able to make this entire book only 1 year after the Ink Black Halt, which is also a really big book. So I don't know how C writes this fast, but Hornbrand and Sanderson are they're like machines or something. Maybe George R. R. Martin could take a couple notes from them. So the whole plot in this is about this guy who goes to Strike and Robin and says, "My son is in the UHC, which is a cult, and he has kind of been indoctrinated by them. Um, they say they're this really big charity, but they're really this creepy sex cult. Reminds me a lot of Scientology, or I think more specifically the NXYIVM, whatever the fuck that name is, however you say it. That cult Allison Mack was in, the girl from Smallville. It reminds me a lot of, those type of cults, maybe like the Manson family too, but I don't know. It's just very creepy shit going on. So Robin kind of infiltrates them. She goes undercover, and we see the mental and physical toll it takes on her because they have a very rigid diet, and they like socially ostracize you from your family and friends. Like they say, the outside world is full of evil people, and you're only good with us. And they have very like hypocritical practices. Like some people are able to have individuality, some of them aren't. Very like hypocritical in my opinion. He's able to go in there and very it's a very thrilling because the whole time you're thinking like, okay, when are they gonna find her out? When are they gonna like realize that she's not who she says she is? She's not Rowena, she's Robin. And they know these are bad people to begin with because Lucy, Strike's sister, talked about how she was molested as a child when they were in that cult, and already raises the stakes, but it turns out it's like even worse than they thought it would be. There's a bunch of mysterious deaths. The 7-year-old Dayu, who's now known as the Drowned Prophet. Will had a daughter with a teenage girl, which is kind of weird. But he was kind of brainwashed, so he's slightly awkward situation now. Everybody is in the church is pressured to have sex with each other no matter what. There's no such thing as like, you know, monogamy or free will in this place. It's like, yeah, will spirit bonding. So you better do it. Very creepy and rapey. Both controls banned. So, people just getting pregnant left and right. And while on Strike's end, he has all sorts of problems to deal with. Tasha Mayo's this actress who's been stalked and is also having an affair with Midge, one of his employers. This guy works for him named Little John, who's a double agent, and he's secretly working with a different agency. Though that problem gets solved when that other agency is arrested, and he just files him in this very humorous way. Uncle Ted has dementia and is unable to live by himself. So him and Lucy and Lucy's husband have to figure out what to do with him. Very sad situation. As someone whose grandma had dementia, know what that's like. So that's very depressing. Strike has this affair with Bijou Watkins, who turns out to be this crazy person, and you know gets in this whole scandal with her soon-to-be ex-husband. Charlotte tells him that he has cancer and wants to get back with him, but obviously, knowing Charlotte, you can't really tell if that's true or not. And then she commits suicide, which is very, shocking to Strike. Well, not exactly shocking because he has been known to say stuff like this a while. He's just shocked that she actually did it. Marvin is able to communicate with Strike by putting these notes in a rock, and he's able to like give her chocolates and notes from her boyfriend, who I don't know how I feel about this boyfriend. He's better than Matthew, but still kind of still kind of judgy, I guess. But like I don't know how I feel about him. He's kind of meh for me. Obviously, as somebody who's been reading these books for a while, like can't Strike and Robin just get together already? But it's 7 books in. Come on, guys. So Robin sees these pixels of sexual debauchery with men in pig masks, so it's kind of weird. Robin almost gets found out because this little boy is talking about a stuffed animal, calls it Robin, and Robin instinctively is like, yeah. Um, Turns out, that was a close one. Meanwhile, there's this other girl named Emily who is like, I am a huge believer in the church, but I don't think that girl drowned. So Robin is like, hey, Will, you and me, we're going to spirit bond. Get ready. So they goes and no, and she's like, actually, I don't spirit bond with you. So I was my private detective. Your dad told me to come here. Your mom's dead. You should probably leave this church because there were a bunch of crazy people. Jonathan Race, the head of the church, very creepy dude. If he was in the Strike adaptation, I'd like to see him played by Gary Oldman because I think Gary Oldman could play like kind of the creepy but charismatic cult leader very well. Or if not him, then maybe Liam Neeson could do it. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. Jonathan Race is like, I don't like what you did to Will, so you're gonna sit in this box. You're gonna sit in this wooden box and think about what you've done. Kind of like 1923, that show they did with that young Native American woman. And Robin's like, okay, that's enough. I'm out of here. So she escapes. Strike gets her just in time as people starting to like attack her as he's trying to leave. Very thrilling chapter. One of my favorites in the book. So now the cops are like, hey, so the church told us that you're like a pedophile or something. And she's like, that's not true. That is preposterous. Will decides to leave the agency. He takes his daughter with him. And luckily, Pat, who apparently is in her 70s the entire time, and she lied about it, but that's okay. Lets Will stay at her house for a while. Will meets with one of Prudence's clients, and Prudence was very upset at Strike for finding out who the client was, even though, I mean, he's a detective. He gave him plenty of clues, so I'm kind of a Strike on this one. Talk about like if we reveal our divine secrets, we're gonna die, and she's like, well, here's the divine secrets. There you go. Not dead. So it turns out Abigail Glover did it. One of the people in the church secured her own sister, faked it. Then it was a big cover-up by saying that she drowned. Mazu Race is in on it. Rebecca Pulbright's in on it. Once again, Robin is almost killed with a gun, but, luckily Midge helps her with that one. I feel like Robin's life is always, like, threatened at the end of each novel of the series. Like, the villain's like, you found me out, now I'm gonna kill you. It's like the 7th novel in a row where this happens. So yeah, UHC is taken down. Jonathan Race has been arrested. The others are kind of still like, we still believe in UHC. Was reunited with his family. They'll probably take time for things to heal. He still has some beef with his brother. It's a really sweet part in the epilogue where Strike talks to Amelia, who is Charlotte's sister, and they talk about how she was messed up and they can't blame themselves, even though Charlotte blames everybody in her life except for herself on her suicide note. Very emotional scene now. Ben's gonna go on a vacation with Ryan Murphy, but before she goes, Strike's like, oh yeah, so Charlotte, was always jealous of us because she knew I loved you, and I was like lifting rates when I was listening to that chapter in audiobook, and I was like, oh my god, he admitted it. Finally, a decade later, he finally admits it. I was like my jaw was open. So that just leaves a huge cliffhanger for the next book. How is Robin going to respond to this situation? Is he going to wake up with Ryan Murphy, go with Strike? That's what I'm hoping. But, with these books, they make us wait. They make us wait a long time. So hopefully we'll find out. I don't know when book 8 comes out. She usually writes them within 1 to 3 years, so, probably not that long compared to, George R. Martin, but whatever. So yeah, in my opinion, the best Strike book yet. I absolutely loved it. It might be my book of the year. I don't know. You're gonna have to watch my video on that, which comes out sometime this week to see if that's true or not. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. being the best strike book, it honestly makes it the best book since the Deathly Hallows, and that was like 15 years ago. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below, what you guys thought about this book, and what do you think is going to happen with Strike and Robin's relationship. Please leave below down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy New Year.